What's up? Episode 15 is live on a Sunday. We're just going to get my partner in here and we are going to get this show going. I hope everyone's having a great Sunday. We're going to get this thing started. Mr. DJ, you there?
Oh yeah, I'm here. I'm ready to fuck shit up. I've taken a shot. Shout out to Lunazel Tequila. I'm feeling good.
I don't know if you picked it up. Did you notice what the today's theme song was?
No, was it Adrenaline in My Soul? Something something. Cody Rhodes.
No, but it was Ricochet's AEW theme. I thought for the week that was, appropriate.
Listen. I've gotten enough shit up on this week. Fuck Ricochet. Just fuck that bald bitch. Just get off Twitter. Just if you want to be a good character, do it on the television. Don't do it on the internet where it's a big fucking place, especially when you hate the people so fucking much.
I don't think he's even been on that much since the whole thing, right?
No, he's been on.
Well,
he's been replying to people and shit.
We're not gonna get into it because it's been spoken to death this week. But I just thought it would be funny to use his theme song as the intro for the show this week. I like to incorporate what's happening for the week. And I did Randy last week, and I didn't want to do Randy again this week. So, but speaking of Randy, segue. I don't think the heel turn is working the way WWE wants it to work.
No shit. who saw that coming?
I mean, could it be because it's against someone like, Cardona that they were chanting one more time? I mean, it's not the first time we've heard a heel get cheered.
It's that Randy's in legendary icon status now. It's not like he's just one of the boys. Randy is a fucking legend in that company and in this business. And even to the point he made last week, his family has a legacy. So, Randy's, it's going to be hard to boo him even when he's playing a heel because Randy ain't staying around much longer. He's pretty much accomplished everything he's needed to fucking accomplish in WWE lore. And people are sick and fucking tired of babyface Cody. Babyface Cody has ran its course in 2 companies already. I think Cody, and I told you this before this even happened, the only logical way you're going to get out of this is if you turn Cody heel. They're going to have to, WWE is going to have to pivot some way, shape, or form because the fans do not want a heel Randy versus babyface Cody. They want it the opposite. And they shouldn't have blew their load so fast. They should have teased it before they did some type of heel turn if they were going to do a heel turn. But, yeah, no, I feel like they've gone 8 steps backwards instead of going forward. The heel turn has been opposite what they wanted, and it rightfully just, I knew it was going to backfire before they even did it.
I mean, I think last week I mentioned that it was, or I don't know if it was here or a different space, but it was very similar to the Becky and Charlotte thing at SummerSlam, where they wanted Becky to be the big baby face, and they tried turning her heel, and it went to shit.
But again, it's kind of the same argument, but for different reasons. They didn't want Charlotte to be a baby face. That was the issue with WWE fans wanted the feud, but they didn't want it the way they got it. They didn't want Charlotte being the face when she's known to be one of the best bitchy heels in the history of the business. And Becky just randomly turning. Don't get me wrong, Becky kind of ran with it, but they went the wrong way. They were going try. You feel me? They had 2 crossroads, and they took the left one instead of the right.
Pun intended?
Pun completely intended.
Do you think they can pivot and do a double turn at Mania?
I mean, they could, but I don't think that's going to save this now. I think if they do the double turn, you tell it's more of a trying to appease everyone. This wasn't the plan the entire time because this wasn't even their initial plan in the first goddamn place. So they're honestly just going with the flow on this. And I don't think it's going to hit the same. I could be wrong because I can see a possibility where they could pull a double turn effectively. I just don't have faith in WWE booking to make them think that they can do it.
I mean, you definitely wait until Mania to do it. It would look stupid if next week on SmackDown, you pull the switch. You need it to happen on the big stage. Like, have Cody completely, ref bump, have Cody completely lose his shit, chair shots, kick to the nuts, maybe even hit Randy with the punt kick. I mean, you got to do it there. So that's what I don't think. I think it's stupid if they tried to do it on SmackDown after 2 weeks. Corey had his hand up already, so let's get Corey in here. What's up, Corey?
Well, I feel like the Orton thing's much like the Cena thing, where the turn is shocking. But you're turning these people, kind of what DJ said, they're legends at this point, and people don't really want to boo them. Plus, Randy's doing cool stuff. It's like, thank God somebody's doing something on SmackDown.
Yeah. He did have one of from the clips I saw because I ain't watching this shit. I'm on strike until WWE pulls their head out their ass. It's crazy how the tide is fucking turned. I'm more likely to watch AEW weekly than WWE. It's fucking amazing. But yeah, no. From what the clip I saw of Randy's little segment, I liked it. I mean, I thought the Jacob and Drew fucking brawling thing was kind of over the top.
No, but when he was calling Cardona an indie ass bitch in the backstage, you indie nerd.
No, but the thing about Randy Orton being a heel, he does it in a way where it comes off. It sounds like Randy Orton, the man, is really fucking saying it. You know what I mean? I'm not saying in any way, shape, or form this heel turn from Randy's part has been bad. I just think the booking, the storytelling is completely wrong for what we're building for WrestleMania.
And I think with Cody Rhodes, you've had diminishing returns for the last couple of years now. And I think people are just tired of him. And I don't think they want to, like I said, I don't think they want to boo Randy.
I don't think Cody's bookings helped him at all. Like, Cody's booking over the past 2 years since he's finished the story has been lackluster at best. Honestly, I've said multiple times in the past, he's the blandest world champion ever. But go ahead, Brandon.
I was just going to say, I don't like that they're using Jelly Roll as Randy's Jiminy Cricket. I don't know if you saw. You said you didn't watch SmackDown, so I don't know if you saw that clip. Randy came out. He cut his initial promo, explaining why he did what he did, and then he saw Jelly Roll in the back, and Jelly Roll's like, "This is not the man you are. This is not the man you've worked so hard to be," and almost playing like the angel on the shoulder instead of the devil. And I don't like that they're trying to use Jelly Roll in that way. It should not be a celebrity's job to be involved in that type of angle.
I get what you're saying. I think they're just trying to they're trying to just whore out Jelly Roll to get all the star power and interest in the Mania they can. Because again, WWE realizes they have an interest problem for their biggest show of the year, and that there's a small chance that their biggest show of the year isn't going to be as big as AEW's biggest show of the year. And if that happens, perception is reality, motherfucker, and that perception will change. And I don't think TKO's really worried about that too much, but I think the pride of Triple H and Nick Khan, as hard as they, poked fun at the kid for AEW.
Yeah, I agree with you. TKO doesn't give a shit because as long as they're making a profit, that's all they care about. But it's definitely going to hit the optics of WWE, and that obviously falls on Nick Khan and Triple H. More Triple H than Nick Khan, who get the horse's ass in their face.
Oh, actually, side topic now, because that kind of actually made me think of something. that got brought up this week that we haven't really even talked much about, or no one else really dove onto. Someone let out, I think it was Thurston who put out the story that Tony Khan apparently put a bid for WWE.
The lowest.
Back when they were for sale.
The lowest bid.
The lowest bid, but he put a bid in there because he wanted it to get out that he, tried to buy his competition at some point. And I think that's kind of a story only for the simple fact that, and no one, it really wasn't covered too hard by the media the way it should have been, because the whole narrative a lot of these AEW sickos and AEW defenders push is that Tony Khan's here so WWE isn't running a monopoly. Tony Khan's here so he can give other guys places to work and other places to earn top tier money. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
What happened if he was able to buy his competition? What if the joke wasn't really a joke and Tony Khan moved shit around to where he had and asked his dad, "Listen, Dad, I need my full inheritance. I'm about to buy WWE." And Shad's like, "All right, fuck it. Long as it keeps you away from the Jaguars and Fulham for as long as possible, do you." And if he bought WWE, do you think the AEW fans would sit here and hail Tony Khan as this savior because, oh my God, he pulled what Vince McMahon did and bought his competition, now we're in better hands? Or are they going to turn on him and be like, you're monopolizing the wrestling business. Where's all these wrestlers going to work now?
I actually tweeted something very similar to that. I'm like, I guess, monopolies are bad when, unless it's the person you want owning the monopoly. So I that would be a very interesting, conversation. If it happened, obviously it didn't, but if it did, would the major AEW fans, the sickos, be on board for monopoly? Because they're against the monopoly all the time. Whenever it was talked about with WWE, and to me, you're back in the same boat. Then for 20 years that WWE did. Because you don't have that option. So Tony buys WWE. So now you have three companies if you include ROH. With the amount of money you have to pay these talents to keep them happy for putting their bodies on the line, I just don't see how that would have ended up being something that would work out in Tony's favor.
No, but it goes back to a point I famously said, and I said it to multiple people in multiple arguments. So it's not the fact that you don't want a monopoly in wrestling business. You're just mad who's going for the monopoly.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, it's not okay for Vince McMahon and WWE to be at the top of the monopoly. But if Tony Khan attempts to do it, it's all good. We ain't going to talk about it. It's okay. You know what I mean? And that's why a lot of these AEW fans and people with AEW bias can't sit here and moral grandstand on the subsection of WWE fans that there are, to where it's not that you want the wrestling business to thrive. Because if you really want that, you have the same thought process as me. AEW right now is somewhat recapturing interest. If they pull off the impossible, and it's actually not completely impossible right now, but if they can get a higher attendance for a single day, bigger than WrestleMania, even though the diminishing returns argument is going to be completely valid for All In, it could be the thing that changed the perception back that they're still in the fight, that they're not just out the competition yet, that Tony Khan somewhat, for some way, shape, or form, has a fire lit under his ass.
I mean, he's been, if you're looking at the ratings, he's been beating NXT convincingly in the last few weeks.
For the past month, not weeks, month.
Well, 4 weeks is a month.
Okay, so I do got a question before we have this circle jerk. I got a question, and I need answers. So why are we comparing AEW's flagship show, AEW Dynamite, to AEW's third-tier developmental show? The argument's always been stupid. It's always been petty. Because NXT is developmental, third brand, whatever you want to call it. It's still WWE's third-tier brand. And we're not going to act like a couple years ago, they were saying how they were going to beat Raw in the ratings. They were going to do this. They were going to do that.
I'm glad you jumped in and tried to make an argument after I say if All In, their biggest show, beats WrestleMania, WWE's biggest show, it will change the perception. I ain't say shit or ain't trying to make no argument about the TV show ratings, even though they have, again, rightfully so, according to the ratings, have kicked NXT's ass for a month straight. And
again, NXT is what, as I just stated, WWE's third tier show. Like, and AEW Dynamite is AEW's flagship show, their main show. So the argument's always been stupid to say we're comparing fucking seasoned veterans to fucking motherfuckers out of fucking high school, fucking not high school, college gyms. All that are just brand new fucking business.
All the arguments comparing any of the shows doesn't work at the end of the day because they're not up against each other. This isn't Monday Night Raw and Nitro where they're head to head. So, as much as, we all talk about ratings, the ratings get talked about and they compare NXT to AEW and Raw, SmackDown, whatever you want to say, at the end of the day, none of it matters because they're not up against each other. They're not head to head. So
hold on. And I'll let Wrestling Jesus go after I counter this real quick. Because they do have separate days, so the ratings you have to look at them differently, but you can still make comparisons to them in terms of who's keeping what and who's losing and who's gaining. Like,
and NXT again, for the last time, NXT is a third tier show. It's developmental.
Okay,
like, again,
Dynamite is climbing to the point where they ain't gonna have to worry about the third tier show no more. All they got to do is go after SmackDown. You shouldn't have to be worried about the first place. It's your flagship show. You shouldn't be worried about the first place. Okay, and I'm telling you, if they pull more people for a one-day attendance than either day of WrestleMania this year with All In, that perception will motherfucking change quickly.
It will not. It's like saying if the UFL attendance climbs, so they're going to beat the NFL and then they're going to take over. No matter what AEW does, I want people to accept it. No matter what AEW, TNA, GCW, fucking the promotion around the corner does, nothing will make them overtake WWE, because WWE's been around so long and they're so big to the point where WWE could sell 10 tickets to WrestleMania, and guess what? They're still gonna be bigger than WWE. They're still gonna be bigger than AEW, excuse me. Because at the end of the day, WWE is still WWE. AEW is AEW. So at the end of the day,
that's a wrong perception to look at it. And you're looking at it the same way WWE
no matter what AEW does, they can bring in fucking Jesus Christ rose from the grave 3 days ago. It's not going to do nothing.
That's where you're wrong. They just brought in Ronda Rousey, brought back Ospreay, brought back
Ronda Rousey has been relevant in 10 years.
Hold on. Chill out. You got to hear my argument. You ain't even listening. They just brought back 3 huge stars. One of them ain't even fully signed yet. They just teased her. She'll eventually be there, though. They just got their highest rating in 2 years. If that's not a sign of oh shit, then maybe they're doing something right. And it's not like they've had really bad ratings this year.
Deejay, open your eyes. You want to know why Ronda Rousey is AEW? Because of what I just said. She's fucking broke. That's the main reason why she's AEW. She is fucking broke. She needs money. And that's why she's AEW.
Hey, 4 kids cost a lot of money. But hold on, let's get Wrestling Jesus in here.
Okay, so who was just talking? Because on my end, it didn't show who was talking. It just showed DJ and Brandon.
That was Jet.
All right, Jet. So I got a couple of points. One, I want to point out, and Tony Khan about WWE, I honestly would have hated. Because there are alternatives. I just wish WWE was a little bit more edgier. So I'll just say that. 2. AEW beating the developmental brand when it has beaten AEW for the past, probably year and a half in the ratings, maybe 2 for a while. That's big. And then 3, to say that this isn't a big deal yet, like they're getting more ratings. Now, me, honestly, I've said it time and time again, I like that the ratings are going up for AEW and TNA. I mean, TNA is even climbing, so don't forget about them.
I was going to mention them later.
Yeah, so I just want to put that in. I'm about to head into work, so I'm getting my few words in right now. So, with that being said, you got TNA climbing. Fans are looking for alternatives to WWE because they're not a fan of what is going on right now. With one, well, now I like that Cody's a face, but I get how many people are saying, "Oh, I wish they turned heel." Kind of
You're
like
so
Hogan.
polite in saying that they suck. I just want to say that.
Rest in Jesus, bro.
They might suck, but the NFL has sucked for years, and people are still watching NFL. WWE is a brand.
Can you prove to me that Ronda Rousey's broke?
Hold on,
Do you
let
have
him finish
access
that.
to her bank account?
Okay. So let me break this down. Okay, anytime you see.
Hold on. Let him speak.
I'm
You got the rest. Listen, you got the rest of the show to bitch and complain about us talking bad about WWE.
Listen. I'm trying to break out. He said that I said Ronda Rousey is broke. No shit, she's fucking broke. Bro. You gotta realize, right? As a person who works in entertainment, me, because I'm an entertaining guy, I work in entertainment. Anytime you see these guys, girls, they/Jims, I won't leave anybody out, start to come back and start to do shit, they are fucking broke. Their fathers, they might not be broke to our standards, like fucking shopping at fucking Goodwill broke, but they're like, let's say, like,
that's
Floyd
too much
Mayweather,
personal
right?
information, Chat.
Floyd Mayweather, right? He's fighting.
I just want you to prove.
Hold on. Let me hush. I'm about to break it down.
Hold on. Listen, I said give him. He about to go into work, dog. Again, you got the rest of the show to bitch and complain.
Okay,
He's gonna work.
Go ahead, Jesus.
Yeah, like I said, I want to prove it because, a lot of people claim that. Or she's just back to prove something because when she left WWE, what is the talk has been the past couple years? Oh, she couldn't wrestle. Oh, she couldn't hang and this and that.
If you ask me, I keep on getting cut off. Let me explain to you. Anytime you see these celebrities,
bro.
Okay. Let me finish my fucking point. Jesus Christ!
I'm gonna explain to you how to interrupt them, nigga. You are interrupting wrestling.
Okay, I'm gonna explain to you. Anyways, I'm gonna explain how Ronda Rousey is going broke. Ronda Rousey is going broke because she wouldn't become back to wrestling. She wasn't. Look at Floyd Mayweather, right? When he comes back to fight 3 times, right? These motherfuckers are not who y'all think they are. These celebrities are not who y'all think they are. These celebrities have to keep up a certain lifestyle. They have to keep it's like you just said 5 minutes ago. That poor kids ain't cheap. No matter how you twist it, turn it, flop it, swap it. Poor kids ain't cheap.
Farm. You feel me? She got a farm.
What
everybody asked me, I'm about to answer right now. So,
thank you.
I had to do that. Jet, let someone else get a word in.
I answered your question. Then why answer y'all question? Y'all interrupt me. So let me.
No, we ain't asking you shit. We saying let a motherfucker speak.
He answered that. I know Ronda Rousey's going broke, and I'm answering the question. And the middle of me answering your question, let me ask you another question.
Bro, you could have answered the question after. Okay, you got all the rest of the show to answer all questions.
He asked me one question, then he asked me another question, but then we answered his other question. That's fucking dumb. That's not how journalism works. You ask a question, then you answer the question.
This isn't journalism, nigga. This ain't journalism.
But ask your question. I'm already in the process of answering. Ask it.
Aaron, please finish your thought since you have to go to work in a couple of minutes.
Jesus.
Thank you. These are my questions that he can answer later, and I'll be listening, but I can't speak while I'm at work. Was Stone Cold Steve Austin broke when he returned for WrestleMania 38? Highly doubt it. He just wanted to come back and get one more one-off, and that's what he got. Pretty fun match with KO at WrestleMania. That's because Ronda's back doesn't mean she broke. She's probably trying to prove to everybody that she can wrestle in the business. Now, can she? We'll see. I mean, her ring work, to me, it's okay, but it can be better. Her promo skills can be better. But it doesn't mean that she can improve, just like everybody can. But we'll wait and see. That's if she's actually signing with AEW. She came back. I'm assuming she will. I honestly think her teaming with Marina Shafir and competing in the tag team division would be better for her. But we'll see. But for you to say that she's broke, it's funny because, just because she wants to come back, she's a wrestling fan. She loves wrestling. Yeah, she was away from...
Hold on. That's where I got to interrupt you and tell you that.
She's no goddamn wrestling.
She she's openly said multiple times she hates wrestling fans. She hates the business. It was the worst time of her life.
And
thinking
that's why I think
WWE.
she's broke. The reason why she's coming back because she's fucking broke.
But
She talks all this shit.
I
Hey,
recall
back.
saying WWE.
I don't
No,
think
she said wrestling.
the thing I disagree with you, Aaron, is I don't think she's coming back to prove something with wrestling. I think she's coming back to give the 5-finger in the ass to WWE by being on the competition. I think she came back to fighting for money, but I think the AEW thing is just an FU to TKO.
Okay, can I ask the question now? Can I ask this question now?
Well,
I already done.
1 second. Aaron,
Yeah.
were you done with what you had to say? Because I know you're going to be disappearing in a minute.
Well, I would like to point out that about the WWE and the product, like I was going before I got on the Ronda Rousey thing. So, heel Randy, I love it. I love Randy as a heel more than a face. He's a way better heel, kind of like I agree with Edge. I agree with Edge was a better heel than a face, in my opinion. Just they brought the intensity, and they're just better bad guys. As far as Cody turning heel, will it be good though? I honestly think he's a better babyface. I got to watch some of the heel run he had in Japan, not all of it, but I think he's a better babyface. And of course, chasing the title as well, because he's a nice guy. So just like Cena, he was a better babyface than he was a heel. So with Cody Rhodes, when Cody Rhodes turns heel, it'll be big, but will it be as good as his babyface run? Because they'll all depend on creative and the booking as well. So, with Hogan doing it back in the 90s, that was creative and booking and everything, following through, and it was a big moment. I'm not trying to compare the two. I'm just saying, as far as, the big babyface turning heel. Same with Cena. Cena, there wasn't much of a follow-through. Did he make it work? Sure. But with The Rock coming in and all that, now all that, kind of fell through and they didn't come through with the story. That's where it kind of, to me, was kind of lackluster. Was the Cena heel promos great? Yeah. And they were funny? Sure. Especially when he pointed at the kid. That was a funny moment. But as far as the story of why he turned heel, at first it was selling his soul to The Rock. Then it turned into, oh, you fans took advantage of me and et cetera. It's like, okay, why did you turn heel? Okay. With Cody turning heel, what would be the meaning, the purpose, and how long can they keep it going, especially with the momentum? That's why I prefer him better as babyface. A lot of people, mainly the IWC, hate on him as a babyface because the fans there, they cheer for Cody, they pop for Cody. The kids love Cody, kind of like Cena for many years. So even with Roman Reigns back in the day, when he was a babyface, a lot of people hated it, but I loved it. I loved the big dog Roman Reigns in the Roman Empire. I was a fan of it, and I'm a fan of the Tribal Chief, don't get me wrong. But as far as both WrestleMania main events, to me, I'm more on the Cody Randy story than I am Roman and Punk right now. And Roman and Punk can sway me and intensify the story. Just what they did Monday night, it started off really good, but at the end, him calling him old, that was CM Punk's line there? Couldn't have been something more, he could have said something about maybe AJ, or I'm not even saying he's got to go the Larry route, especially how soon it has been for them to lose their dog, but something more than just your old. So just give me something more there, in my opinion. With Cody and Randy, there's more there.
I want to Aaron, real quick, as far as the old line, I don't think it was the fact that he called him old. I think it was the fact that Punk kept trying to get Roman to react. Roman wouldn't do it. I think it just was a tipping point, not that it was the line itself. Just the fact it's like you're trying to get someone's attention, and you get frustrated so much that you can't get that person to react. So the littlest thing makes you snap. I mean, look at you have conversations with people on Twitter. The conversation breaks down because you disprove their point. They get personal with you. I saw it almost like that. So it wasn't so much that he was calling him old. It was just got into a point that that caused him to react, not because of being called old. And I do want to ask you one question. Would you have preferred the Cena heel turn if he would have used a syringe on the kid?
I would have preferred the Cena heel turn with, like, without The Rock. I would honestly prefer the Cena heel turn, like what y'all been talking at Mania with Randy. At Mania, where he's getting so close to winning, it's not happening, and then he gets so desperate, he low blows him, hits him with the title, and then he wins, and then carrying on from there. Well, why did you do that, Cena, and et cetera. And then we could have done that route. But with the coming, like if Brock had followed through and showed up, and even showed up at Mania to at least cost Cody the title, I still would have been way happier with that than with Travis Scott coming out. But I wouldn't have minded, honestly, Cena, playing the nice guy all the way to Mania, maybe showing some heel signs there, and then at Mania he gets so desperate after battling with Cody for so long that he does the low blow, the heel move to win the title. And I think it would have been a better payoff and more of a shock factor than what they did at Elimination Chamber. So those are my thoughts of the whole thing. With Randy, I like the way it's going right now. Could we wait till Mania, him playing the good guy, kind of like Cena? Sure. But I like how it's going right now, especially at the Brutal Breakdown. But we'll see how they can evolve it, intensify it from there, especially with this mysterious caller. I still think it's Arn Anderson. But many are saying Rock, Ric Flair even. I think he's still under AEW contract, if I'm not mistaken. He's on that Legends deal with him. So I don't think it's Rick. But who knows? It could have ended, and I haven't heard about it. But last time I checked, a few months back, he was under that AEW Legends contract deal. So we'll see how it goes. I would say.
Rob? I think he dropped.
I think we lost him.
Yeah. He
Okay, can I talk now? Do I have permission to talk?
Once that, before you go going, Jet, I just want to ask DJ real quick. Do you think Ronda came to make an appearance in AEW for a payday, or as an FU to TKO?
Can't both things be true?
Well, I mean, let's not pretend like she hasn't just received a big payday with this fight.
Listen, but Ronda's doing a lot of appearances and a lot of shit that would cost a lot of money to get Ronda Rousey to do some shit. So, and she literally just said in the interview before when she was negotiating with fucking Dana for her comeback fight that the money wasn't there. So she's definitely looking for a fat fucking payday. Again, she has 3-4 kids and a fucking farm to look after. Travis Brown ain't getting no fucking fights either, and it's not like anybody's asking him to do any wrestling appearances or fucking any other side work or anything. So you got to look at it from that perspective. Like I said, both things could be true. She's definitely doing it as a fuck you to WWE, especially knowing that WWE is kind of, I wouldn't say vulnerable, but they got a weak point right now. You feel me? Their weak point's exposed. WrestleMania is down. Attendance is down. Viewership is down. The only thing that's been remaining, honestly, is just the YouTube numbers. Those are always consistent because it's fucking WWE and they have 100 millions of subscribers. So, and in terms of the monetizing game, they're up there in the YouTube fucking lore.
Right. Do you think she made that impact she was looking to do, or do you think it's basically been lost in the ether of the news cycle because of all the other bullshit that happened with Ricochet?
Not really. I mean, people were tuned into Dynamite for it, I think honestly the one thing that might have killed it off and died it down was Toni Storm basically being written off television and that being let out the hat. Oh, Toni Storm's not going to wrestle for the rest of 2026. So, yeah.
Well, we're going to talk about that in a minute, but let's let Jet go on his soapbox, and then we'll get to Corey.
Okay, for the last umpteenth time, I'm going to answer y'all's question, and in the middle of me answering y'all's question, they'll ask no more questions. Okay? The reason why Ronda Rousey is broke is because this is what DJ just stated. She's coming back doing all these appearances out the fucking blue because she is going broke. Having the farm is not cheap. Having 4 kids is not cheap. Paying your taxes of the caliber of Ronda Rousey is not fucking cheap. No one does not have access to your bank account, but it's common fucking sense, people, to anybody who has economics on a high level, that she is going broke. Look at these celebrities like Floyd Mayweather, right? He's having 3 fights within the span of 6 months. He's fighting against Mike Tyson, Manny Pacquiao, and some other fucking douche off. That he's obviously going to make hundreds of millions of dollars from. Why? Because he's fucking going broke and he has poor money management. These celebrities, wrestlers, content creators, whatever, that we see on TV every week, on our timeline every week, are not who we think they are. And again, as a person who works in entertainment and works around these motherfuckers are not the motherfuckers we think they are. Because these people have children. These people have maids, tutors, housekeepers, children, all these fancy cars, fancy houses. They have high taxes, private planes, all that stuff. All that stuff doesn't come cheap. So when you see these people coming out of retirement, Floyd Mayweather, Ronda Rousey, Mike Tyson, all these people that came in and are fighting Jake Paul, Logan Paul, these type of guys, and they're fighting. I was about to go to the thing fighting Ronda Rousey, so somebody say it or whatever. I forgot the name. They are going fucking broke because all that shit adds up. Because all that shit doesn't come cheap. Again, they're not broke to our standards where they're ordered off the fucking dollar menu at McDonald's. No. But if you're going from 50 million to, let's say, 5 million, that is a decrease to their lifestyle. No one will not have access to their bank account. I probably never will. But again, these motherfuckers have high standards, and when you keep on feeding into your high lifestyle, you will get low in your finances, and you're going to have to do something to re-up. And people like Ronda Rousey, people like Mike Tyson, people like Floyd Mayweather, people like Manny Pacquiao are going to have to keep on re-upping. So what are you going to do? I'm a former boxer. I'm a big name. I'm a former MMA legend. I have a big name. I was in WWE. I was in all these things. So let me maximize my appearances and my stuff every so few years. Just like rappers, right? And singers and artists. You see all these rappers and singers and artists selling their catalogs, selling their masters, the publishing, because they are going broke. These people that you see on the timeline every day that are constantly on tour, that's what this is Chris Brown. He's always on tour. This is Chris Brown. This is Chris Brown every goddamn day. But that man is always on tour doing something because he's fucking going broke. So at the end of the day, no, I do not have access to the bank account, but it's common fucking sense when you have people keep on doing shit because they are going broke. Thank you. Have a good day.
Corey, go ahead.
Well, 2 things. So, if we're saying Ronda Rousey is this huge attraction, everything else like that, how many people tuned in on Wednesday to see if there was any follow-up to that? Will there be a dip next week because there's no follow-up to it? Secondly,
I don't, just to answer your first question,
Yeah.
real quick, I don't know yet. It's too early to tell because AEW has been on an upward trend even before this giant spike.
did you like that show Did you like that show last week?
No, but
It was awful.
But I'm not the normal AEW defender or fan.
But clearly there was an extra 130,000 people that switched over to see something, right?
I don't think it was just Ronda. I think it was also the follow-up to a really good pay-per-view.
I think it was Ronda, Ospreay, Kenny, and Edge and Christian, all those names being included back into the fold, and people wanted to see what the follow-up was to that.
Second point with All In, when All In opened last year, it had 32,000 tickets sold first day. This year only had 20,000.
Well, let's
Not only is WrestleMania attendance down, it looks like All In, their attendance is down from what it was last year. Could they have the move and move a lot more tickets? Absolutely. But opening day, not so much. They're down about 35%.
Is that the next argument? Are we going to get to? Is he segueing us?
Well, I was actually, you had brought up, Mania and AEW going head to head as far as ticket sales, but then we got a little off track. But yeah, I definitely want to talk about that. Like he said, in 2024, opening week of pre-sale was like 33, 34K.
Yeah.
They only did like 19 and change now, and it was also 3 months earlier in 2024. So I do think at the end of the day, they're going to end up matching or be pretty close to 2024. They're not hitting at the 72K from 2023. Forget that. But I also do think it's a real possibility that they surpass each night of Mania. And
Mania is probably going to get what, 50K? So they have to surpass 50K, which
No,
even
WrestleMania is only going to get like 40, 45K.
yeah,
I don't think 50.
I don't think they're hitting a legitimate 50 in Vegas.
They're not. I was going to say it's not going to be a legit 50.
Maybe night 2 might be.
45.
Night 2 usually gets more than night 1, but their night 1 is not hitting 50. Maybe night 2 might hit 50, but they're definitely not getting that 60, 65 they got last year for each night.
And you've also got once again, you got the American Europe argument on there too. They can go over there, draw that in Europe. I'm sure WWE, if they went to Wembley, they could draw 90,000 people to that thing.
Honestly,
But they also weren't there, 2 to 3 times beforehand for prior events in the past 5 years.
I'm saying if WWE went over there, they would shatter their record.
I don't think
For
right
WrestleMania,
now.
yes.
But honestly, even for WrestleMania, I don't think they would get 90,000. Even if you made WrestleMania one night and you put it in Wembley, the way WWE's perception is right now, and I'm talking simply from a creative standpoint.
Their mayor ran on part of his campaign that he would get WrestleMania over there. It's a big deal.
I'm just saying, I don't think they would get that high. I think, honestly, they would get maybe 65, 70 if they went to Wembley.
They 78 and 92 with Bulldog and Bret Hart at the top.
Okay, that was 30 years ago.
Yeah, and back in 92. If you go
But
back
that
to
was
92,
also at the height of their interest, pretty much, or one of the heights of
they
their
didn't know
interest.
WWE's interest died off really after WrestleMania 7, but WrestleMania 8 was abysmal.
And
Like
the
you
tickets,
didn't have any Hogan or anything.
and the tickets weren't the prices they are now either.
No.
And also in terms of the argument for the AEW, day one draws, you gotta also realize too, a lot of people have to plan out. They're gonna get a lot of like international buys and people traveling for that show. I don't think the domestic market is gonna be able, especially with how bad the British economy is right now.
People had to travel international last year too. They're still down about 14K tickets on their opening week.
We'll see. I think it's a little too early to tell.
But again, I think also it's part of the perception of WWE. They're not hot like they were a couple of years ago. If you would have told me WrestleMania 40 in Wembley, they would have sold out because they were that hot at the time. Now, that's why I just don't think. I think it's based just on the perception of where WWE is from a creative standpoint. They would not hit that. It's also, and like it was said, there's a 15K or so difference between ticket sales between 2024 and now, but there's still 5 months to go. And we've seen, like even last year with All In, we've seen that last week really was a push for like tickets going, ticket sales going. And once they start announcing matches and you have a better idea, I think the sales will pick up. And I said earlier this week I think they'll be between 48 and 50.
Oh, my bad. I was muted. For All In?
Yeah, for All In.
Oh, hell no. I don't think so. I think they're going to get around, the highest they'll get is maybe 45K. Maybe. If the law of diminishing returns don't hit them that hard. But me and Awful predicted 40K in our predictions, and I'm pretty much sticking by that. Like I said, it will change the perception if I'm wrong. If I'm wrong that and they pull 45, 47K people to WrestleMania's, 45 per night, it'll change the perception a lot. It's not going to be it's not going to be just little brother no more. They're going to be like, all right, we're really the alternative again. Let's fucking do it. And they'll start getting those top names again. And you'll start seeing WWE spending buku amounts of money to try to keep their talent.
I think it's the perception and the optics of WWE is just they need something. Obviously, injuries have snake bit WrestleMania this year. In the creative sense, they don't know what's going on with a lot of guys because they're waiting to see if people are coming back from injury in time and stuff like that. But with the amount of talent they have signed, they should be able to plug people in if someone's injured. There shouldn't be an excuse to not knowing where you're going 3 weeks to Mania. But to flip it back to AEW, I think they got the 730K this week because coming off of, arguably a really good pay-per-view. And that was the follow-up. I don't think it was because of one single person, but they didn't do themselves any favors with the show they put on.
Especially with the Death Rider. Again, I think we need to start a petition as wrestling fans to get the Death Riders off fucking television. Yeah, there's no fucking point of having them. They're useless. Marina Shafir gets beat all the time. Moxley doesn't know if he's a babyface or a heel. Claudio's spending most of his time in CMLL now, so all you got is Pac and Yuta. Yuta looks like a fucking pinball machine now. Well, Pac is. I can't say a bad thing about Pac, but he's stuck in the fucking group.
Claudio dropped the title, the CMLL title, so maybe he'll be on TV more.
But I'm saying though, he's been in CMLL. He hasn't really been on much TV.
Right.
You'll catch him maybe once every 2 to 3 weeks in a multi-man.
But I do agree, and I was listening to it for most of yesterday. But the Death Rider problem is a problem for AEW. They were the heel group. Then Moxley won the C2, and then they were kind of leaning towards being baby faces because they're randomly feuding with Don Callis' family for freaking 75 years. And now Ospreay's back, and now they're full heels again. No explanation. Just like we had no explanation why they're feuding with the Don Callis family, why they're leaning to being baby faces, why they formed in the first place. We were never explained what their goal was. You had the NWO. Their goal was to take over WCW and then take over wrestling. We had no reason why the Death Riders are together. You've been pushing them as baby faces for the most part, except for Marina and freaking Death Riders B Squad. And now Ospreay's back. They said they had a throwaway line at the pay-per-view where, as much as Moxley has been atoning for his sins, the sins of the past are still coming back to get him. But then you just had Moxley being a full heel on Wednesday. You didn't even have him trying to kind of be in that space where you're trying to amend for what you did and trying to apologize, and then if the other guy doesn't want to give you the forgiveness and he wants his pound of flesh. But it was just we went back to full heel Moxley. So,
I just don't know. In terms of certain things, they went the wrong way with the show. Doing another Kenny and Swerve match on free television for a bullshit stipulation. Being the EVP of AEW is really a fucking thing. The women's division again is just floundering, and I think I think it was you who brought it up, either you or Johnny who brought it up yesterday, that Mercedes hasn't lost. They're not using any of this Mercedes stuff. Her dropping all these belts, they're not using it as to build up her eventual return. This is her downfall. You couldn't get her on TV again when she had all the fucking belts. You couldn't get the bitch off TV. You couldn't pry her off TV if you had the hook and fucking tomatoes. Like,
Fucking tomatoes.
like she was literally stuck there. But now she's off dropping these belts, and we don't see nothing of it on AEW television.
It's not even mentioned. Like it's
Not even
even
you feel
in
me? Not
passing.
even mentioned at fucking all. Like, this should be something they should be doing on a week-to-week basis, and it would actually help build up the women's division, losing a Toni Storm. Because it's not like AEW didn't spend 2 years, burying the rest of the women's roster in order to elevate Mercedes and Tony's to such these high levels. Now they're both fucking gone, and we're floundering with Thekla.
Yeah.
And don't get me wrong, Thekla's doing great in her role, but who the fuck is she going to face? She ain't got no challengers. She just beat her only viable challenger, and our only other viable challenger is the TBS champion.
And why is Mina getting a title shot? She won one singles match in God knows how long, and she's granted a title match this week. Not even an eliminator. And if you're just plugging her into where Toni Storm was going to be, you still have to adjust. You can't just simply go with Tony's storyline. So let's say that she's just being plugged in. So Toni was going to win the follow-up match. And then on top of that, you were going to give her a title match this week. But you can't do that with Mina when she's had a bad track record. You can't put her in Toni Storm's spot because she's not Toni Storm.
Like I've stated initially, the issues with AEW, Tony's been doing a great job establishing his main event scene, but everything else has been normal AEW that we're fucking used to. If he can just put the same energy that he's put into establishing his top stars the same way he used to into everything else, I think we'll be fine. And honestly, we need to get rid of some of these fucking belts. The trios division, I honestly think it needs to fucking go. Let's focus on tag teams again. I miss tag team wrestling. Fuck this trio shit where we're doing da 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 da. That's the only reason we're doing these fucking matches, just to do the fucking clown sequences. Like, let's get rid of the trios division. Let's get rid of the national title because it's only a Nepal title anyway. And maybe get rid of the international. We'll keep the continental because you can have your tournament once a fucking year, even though you have the Owen, which is another tournament for another fucking belt. It's like that you gotta stop convoluting everything when it's not your main event stuff. And I think that's what it is. He's trying to make everything else feel as important by putting too much into it instead of just putting the right things into it and focusing on it that way.
I agree with you with, you're sacrificing your tag team division for the trios. You basically got, it's a 3-team division right now because everyone else is stuck in trios hell. And you only got Edge, Christian, FTR, and the Bucks. We have Okada, who's been champion since he's walked in the door, for a title that really doesn't mean anything. You put the national title on Jungle Boy. Man, where are we going with that now? Because it looks like Ricochet is on the bench. So,
We'll see how long that suspension is for. I say it's a month.
I mean, it's technically not even a suspension.
It's going to be a silent suspension.
Yeah.
We're not going to find out about it until after it's finished.
Did you see who was the person who got into Ricochet's ear allegedly and made him apologize?
Who was his hero, for
Yeah.
lack of a better pun?
Yeah, Chris Hero.
I mean, I thought it was his wife. That's what everyone else reported.
Better question, why wasn't it Tony Khan?
No, you want me to tell you why I think the Chris Hero thing is coming out? Because I don't think Tony wanted his name to be directly involved in this and blah, blah, blah. So Tony probably told Chris Hero to tell Ricochet. And Chris Hero is going to take all the credit and heat and adulation.
Oh, let's talk about the Toni Storm thing. Because she had her match. I know you said yesterday you liked the match. You weren't a fan of the finish, right?
Yeah, I didn't like the fact that Marina lost, but for the most part, Toni did a great job of making Marina look good.
I mean, especially if you're going to do a follow-up on Wednesday, Marina gets the win, and then the babyface gets get it back.
Right.
So, by all accounts, you were going to have Marina lose back-to-back matches.
And just kill her credibility.
Right.
Make her look like a fucking joke.
So,
like,
they're saying... I'm sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead.
I was just going to say, so they're saying that Toni's out for the rest of the year. But there's been no report to what the injury is or why she's out.
The injury was caused by Juice Robinson. Penetration of the vaginitis.
Well, we don't actually know that. So we're speculating. But
how many months are left in the year?
Listen, all I know is, and people have brought this up before, if it was a WWE thing, we'd have the MRIs, we'd have the sonograms, we'd have the freaking stick posted online, the piss stick showing the positive. But, no one can figure out what's going on with her to report it.
All I'm saying is, Buddy Matthews, you better keep your dick to yourself, buddy. You better wrap it before you tap it, motherfucker.
So, Herm, what's up?
No, what he's going to do is he's going to do the same thing Seth Rollins did. Just go in raw dog, and then the next thing you know, Rhea's going to be out. The thing about Marina Shafir and credibility, those are like two words that don't usually go in the same sentence for each other. But no, honestly, the thing with Toni Storm, you're right. I mean, shit, if it was WWE, she'd be doing fucking podcasts and shit, advertising it. But it's just whatever's going on here is kind of silent. Maybe somebody didn't like the idea of being put in a match with Ronda Rousey by chance.
I don't think they would put her out for 9 months just to avoid Ronda Rousey. Especially the fact that Ronda probably won't, if she's going to sign, won't sign till after her fight in May.
Yeah, I don't think she's going to be probably one that they bring on in for like some one-offs or per match appearance. I don't think that's going to be like a kind of a long-term.
Well, I'm just saying I don't think it's a worked injury for Toni Storm just to avoid Ronda Rousey.
I don't think it is either.
Yeah, that was what I was just trying to get to.
Listen, it's just, what's the women's division now though? Like I said, Thekla's doing a good job as someone who's not known to an American audience, trying to establish herself and establishing herself as a champion. That's one thing they're doing right. But she has no one to fucking face. Thunder Rosa is as dead in the water as she's ever going to be. Where's Deonna Purrazzo for the umpteenth fucking time? Chris Statlander just lost 2 or 3 times to this chick, so you can't run that back again. Willow has the TBS title. She has to drop that first. Mercedes is on her downfall tour, and we don't know how it's going because it's never been mentioned on television. Who else? Jamie Hayter's in a fucking tag team now. Megan Bain's in a tag team now. They're building up that division that they just made up belts for out of fucking nowhere for no reason. What are we doing with the women's division? Next thing you know, and they just did a trademark on the Continental Cup. I'm putting fucking money. It's a women's version of the Continental Classic.
I had brought up that I thought that maybe whatever deal that he had with Martha Hart expired, and maybe that's going to replace the Owen. But that was just me, guessing.
But you get what I'm saying? Like, the women's division is weak.
I mean, honestly, you want to boost it? You got someone riding the bench who, is waiting for a phone call.
Britt ain't saving this division. I'm sorry.
Even
if you brought her back, she's not enough to save this division. Like, the issue that, like I said, instead of establishing new stars for the division, Tony's trying to establish an entire new division for the women. The tag team title belts should not even be a fucking thing because it's not going to give them more chances. It's going to give them more chances to be on television, but it's not going to give them more chances to get over.
I mean, it's almost for the men, the trios division, that's what the tag teams for the women is.
Yes.
So they're getting stuck in the tag team division just like the tag teams are getting stuck in the trios division and they're not getting built up. I mean, Megan Bain should have been that one that would be getting that main event push with Toni being out, but now she's tag champion. I mean, the only thing you got if you're not bringing Britt back is Mercedes Moné. And I think you guys were talking about it yesterday, that if you're going to bring her back as a babyface, then you have to put a babyface in peril. And I think you guys had mentioned,
Harley Cameron.
Harley, thank you. So, but it's still not building anyone up because Mercedes is already on that level.
See, the only thing I think that could help that would be if you're going to turn Mercedes babyface, which I would highly advise against it, but turn Willow heel. Turn Willow heel against Harley. Have Mercedes come back to try to defend the honor of Harley. There's history all between the three of them. The Harley and Mercedes budding friendship. The Mercedes Willow heat. You can just reverse that, go another way with it. Nick, you jumped in after I said I'd advised against this. So again, maybe just
I think Nick's putting the thumb down to putting Willow as a heel.
Yeah, no, that's why I said
Yeah.
I was stating though I'd highly advise against this because I wouldn't put Willow as a heel either. She's the top babyface.
To me that's like trying to put Rey Mysterio as a heel at this point.
I was just saying if you're gonna make that story make sense, if Mercedes is coming back as a babyface to save another babyface in peril, the only way you could do that within the logical sense and realm of AEW is that you turn Willow heel because she's pissed that Harley cost her the belts or some shit like that. Or Harley gets a title shot and she almost beats Willow. Willow gets jealous and turns on her and then Mercedes comes in for the save. You feel me? Some shit like that. There's not. What else has Mercedes done, or who else Mercedes? Unless you're bringing back Camille.
Well, I mean, DJ, the reason why I said you'd put Harley in the situation with Tekla is because of the past history with those two. I honestly think turning Willow heel's not. I would. That's one you want to talk about being against Mercedes turning heel or turning face. I'd be against turning Willow heel.
Oh no! Like I said, that's why I opened this statement with. I also highly would advise against this because I wouldn't do it either. I'm just saying that would be the only thing that makes sense of bringing Mercedes back as a babyface.
All right, I just real quick on the conversation. I just had a comment from Greg Harris. He says, "Turn the battling birds or whatever they're called heel and leave Willow alone."
They kind of already are heel if you ever listen to their promos and stuff.
No, they're not heel. They're definitely baby faces, though. They're not.
They might be baby faces in the ring, but their promo style is just it's either heel or it's cringe at this point. I haven't figured out which yet.
All right, so real quick, since he's in the room, Nick, am I allowed to say that the Death Riders are fucking death, or do I have to sit here and wait for the story to play out?
I hope it's fucking over soon. I'm tired of it.
Okay, all right. At least you're finally at the same point I'm at.
Yeah, they should have ended like 8 months ago. I'm good.
Thank you. So can you at least say the words on public record that DJ, you were right. All those months of bitching, you were justified.
Well, I mean, they haven't done anything like what? At what point are we kicking Mox out? Like,
hold on, Nick. I got to take a shot for this one because you got me feeling good right now. You're admitting I'm right. This feels good. This is history.
Well, I mean, no. I mean, I thought we're out here to tell. Like, listen, I get that AEW is all about the in-ring competition, and I get that AEW are telling stories, but you can't say that they're telling stories and in the same breath they're not, because what's the story? Like, at what point is Mox getting, like, we have to turn the page on some of these stories. We can't just keep in a holding pattern.
Nick, hold on. I gotta kind of add an addendum on what you said though. It's not that AEW doesn't do stories is that a lot of the time they don't do good ones or compelling ones.
Are you ready?
I no, they tell stories. It's just it has to be a little bit coherent too. Like they're starting off this Toni story, so hopefully that goes somewhere. But you can't be taking 1 week off to not tell the story. Like now we're like, if we're gonna use the Death Riser example, yeah, I get it. Moxley's MO. Now he's turned babyface. Probably the other guys are all heels. But now with Will, they're gonna have to turn him back into a heel. Like it doesn't make sense. And they didn't and this is why I said Wednesday show was absolute trash. Because there was yeah, you're starting to tell stories, but the momentum that you had coming out of that show, you did not capitalize as well as you should have.
Holy shit, I think I just made IWC history. We got it on record that Nick said an AEW episode was trash.
I was
holy fuck. Hold on. Where's the fucking sound gimmick? Hold on, we gotta.
No, man, but I mean, it's like, listen, they had a hot pay-per-view, and you'd be lying to say that show was anything but lackluster.
Nick,
no, it was the best show in 2 years.
No.
All right,
no.
Nick,
No.
Is it the WWE fans' fault for that show?
Oh, absolutely not. No, that's all
right,
fault.
I just want to be sure because I was told this week by a really, really demented sicko that the crowd was bad and the show was bad because it was all WWE fans who just piled into the show and they didn't know how to react.
It has nothing to do. And listen, this is my opinion. I don't watch people like this is the way I view things. It has nothing to do with the crowd wasn't into it. I get it. They weren't because it was a pretty soft crowd. But again, you didn't capitalize on what you needed to. I don't understand if we're starting this story with Mina, with Toni and who done it. Why is Marina taking the pin? I don't care if it's in a no holds barred match. Why is
Marina losing again for no fucking again, I said that too. That was one of my big gripes about, because I said Marina and Toni was one of the better matches on the show, in my opinion, that I liked, because it made Marina look good and look like a credible threat, and I hated the finish, especially in hindsight. They were going to run it back again or give her another match on the following Dynamite where the babyface could have got their comeuppance and prevailed.
Or here's a funny thing you could have done. Why did Marina, you have to give her flowers. And I know we're kind of going, we have to give Marina her flowers. Because you know what? She's improved. In the role that they have put her in, she has excelled.
No, I said that. For one, at least in the ring with Toni, Mina was a different story. But in the ring with Toni, if she's in the ring with someone who knows what they're doing in the wrestling ring, and to an American style wrestling audience, they can make Marina look like $1 million fucking dollars, especially with the style Marina's starting to wrestle now. The shoot judo takedown style with the submissions. That shit looked great. I'm okay with that. But again, just to make her lose on back-to-back shows kills whatever credibility you were trying to give her in the first fucking place.
Why? And to add to that, she lost at the pay-per-view. Then you had Ronda come back. I mean, whatever's happening with Ronda is whatever. But I mean, now that Marina is not in this storyline with Toni, why can't she go after the TBS title?
I mean, it's possible that Marina was supposed to win the match originally when it was Toni Storm. So maybe that was going to lead to something, but then they switched it once they put Mina in there.
But you did nothing to protect Marina, and I don't care that it's a no holds barred match. You gave her an L, she lost. That's it. Like you handcuffed her, and now what? Like I don't.
There's no reason for you to lose to Mina Shirakawa, who hasn't won a damn thing, because it's no holds barred.
No, it's not the fact. It's just losing in general. That could have been anybody in that position. Coming out of the pay-per-view, if you knew you started a whodunit line with Toni and Toni's not going to be around, they would know that behind the scenes. We wouldn't. But why is Marina Shafir taking an L when you're doing something with Ronda? Like, yeah, she wasn't there, but it seems like AEW and Ronda are going to be working together in some capacity. So if they are, why are you making Marina look less than?
They don't think about anything like that. That's like the whole, going back to the Death Raiders real quick, John Moxley turned babyface. Turned babyface, ruined the Takeshita turn, because that was the whole story of the Continental Classic that everybody was expecting. They just shit all over that. Moxley turns, and then we throw it away because Will Ospreay's back.
Well, I mean, you could have, unless, and this is kind of the way I look at things, is I take it, I'll judge everything from now till Dynasty. After Dynasty is over, I will look back and say if it worked or didn't work. The only way this Will Ospreay and John Moxley thing works is if you know in the back of your hand Jay White's coming back, because this feud does not need the Continental Championship. So you could have had this same outcome, and Takeshita could have won.
Well, Nick, let me ask you on one more thing real quick. I want to get your thoughts on something else real quick. What do you think about them giving away another Swerve Kenny match, a pay-per-view level match? Okay.
Stupid.
On free television.
Stupid.
VP stipulation.
I said it on our watch along. I don't understand. I think this is an L, because unless you're gonna do a fuck finish, unless you're gonna do a fuck finish or a time limit draw on Wednesday, and we'll see, this doesn't make sense, because you could have had this. This is a match for Dynasty with the stipulation that you put that it's for either the number one contendership or the EVP status.
I like some nice steamy hot.
Like, why? You're telling me you couldn't take 4 weeks to build up to this match at Dynasty?
And how is Swerve number one contender? They had never mentioned once leading into Revolution that the winner of that match between him and Brody was for the number one contendership.
Yeah, it's very cold.
I didn't hear them say that either. I think they just said because he won and he faced.
But they're not keeping records like that anymore. There's no top 10 every week like they used to have. So it doesn't make sense.
I wouldn't want that to come back anyways. Listen, at the end of the day, Dynamite was definitely it. It wasn't a great show, and if anybody's gonna tell me otherwise, I'd love for them to argue how it was a great show. Because,
well, if you look on the big board, I put the tweet up from earlier this week, and I quote tweeted it, and you could follow back to see the guy who was saying that it's because it was all WWE fans there, and that's why no one reacted.
No. It just was not a good show. Flat out. I had a lot of, Revolution, the outcomes were very head scratching. The Takeshita one was one. I said it last night on Shenanigans. What happened with Revolution and Dynamite, I swear to God, if I see the Death Riders, not the Dogs, anywhere near the Trios titles for the next 2 months, that's fucking stupid. Even that, how do you a faction that's just come in like the Dogs, how do you look at them and say you're gonna lose at the Revolution, And then you look at Gabe and you say, Gabe, you're also going to lose on Dynamite.
I mean, especially the fanfare and all the buzz with Finlay coming in. And you're going to have him lose his pay-per-view debut.
You can't just do a massage.
And you could have gotten to the casket match, the coffin match, the same exact way and still have the dogs go over. You could have had Gabe Kidd still get handcuffed or zip tied or whatever it was by Darby. You still could have had Finlay score the pin on Roddy, and you still could have gotten into the blow off between, Gabe Kidd and Darby.
But even so, why would you have Darby? Why are you having Darby win that match? What, just a challenge at Dynasty for the World Heavyweight Championship?
To me, that's in the same spot that they put Megan Bayne last year against Toni Storm at Dynasty. It's just a stepping stone to get to the bigger shows, and just in a way to get the champion on the show.
But Darby is so bulletproof, and then Darby's so bulletproof. Like, even if he lost that coffin match, you still could have had him come out and interrupt MJF this Wednesday and do something. Like, I don't know. This was you did not capitalize
and
on Wednesday.
How is Darby jumping the line also? Because we've established that we're having a number one contenders match Wednesday. So if we're not going to have that on the pay-per-view, how is Darby jumping the line?
If I'm Swerve, I'm pissed. I'm like, what?
As far as the Ospreay and Mox thing, well, I got you here. I don't think they should rush that. I think you do Pac and Ospreay at Dynasty, and you hold off Mox until Double or Nothing.
You should have. If he's available and he's ready, because he's tweeting like he's ready. If Jay White's ready, you should be doing Jay White versus Lil at Dynasty for the right to challenge Mox at Double or Nothing.
That's the name tag left over from parent-teacher conferences. That counts.
I just felt with Wednesday's show they didn't follow up properly, and it's a case of that's happened with Tony before, where he'll sacrifice things to get it back on an original idea path he had 6 months ago.
And another thing, and I would be talking about Wednesday. I don't care that she was on Collision. You're telling me Wednesday Tekla couldn't come out and cut a promo?
If you're allergic to Eplis, allergic reactions can occur. They can be.
We haven't heard from Chris at all?
Well, we had to have Edge and Christian talk. That's why.
But we couldn't have. You're telling me Chris couldn't come out and she's not pissed the fact that she lost her 2 out of 3 falls match, and because of the Sisters of Sid?
And I feel, you know what, honestly, that you brought that up, I feel they're going to push her into the tag team, and she's going to take Willow's spot in the tag team with Harley to battle the Sisters of Sin now.
That's stupid.
I'm just saying, that's where you can't, you basically killed off her in the division as far as going for the title. You're not going to have Chris going for the title anymore. She just lost 2 out of 3 falls. That was the blow-off match. You're moving on. You got to move on with Thekla. Like I said, it just after the great pay-per-view, it just seems like creative shit the bed on Wednesday.
So maybe we should have pay-per-views in the afternoon.
Which they should be having anyway. They definitely should. I said that I think last week. They should be having these earlier, especially when your main event's not starting until after midnight on a Sunday.
Young homeowners turning into their parents.
Yeah, I don't know. Whoever is saying that, whoever's making excuses for Wednesday is not being genuine. I don't know.
Just had a question about the wiring inside.
Was it a good show?
We can't see people.
Maybe some spots, but even then, it was. I don't know.
It was not a post pay-per-view show. We'll put it that way.
No. Imagine some of those returns that we got on Saturday, or for those debuts that we got on Saturday. Imagine you saved them for Wednesday. like, granted, I loved all the returns, but I mean, you could have saved one.
It stops flakes where they start.
They could have they could have saved Edge and Christian. I think.
Psychologist recommended brand Head and Shoulders.
I think
You probably could have saved. You could have saved Kenny.
That's true, but I think that was also done because everyone was shitting on Kenny for a couple of weeks once they knew he was going to that Street Fighter thing, that he was not going to be on a pay-per-view. So I think they did that just to like, because that was the one, for me at least, I was not expecting Kenny to show up.
Doesn't that make it look more egregious that Kenny wasn't in the damn match at the pay-per-view and they just gave it away on Dynamite?
Well, that doesn't even, it's like the second time we're giving away a pay-per-view caliber match just for what, a ratings bump? So if we're putting these matches on Dynamite week to week, what are we building to the pay-per-view for? The whole point of weekly TV show is to build to a pay-per-view, to the payoff on a bigger show where people are dishing out their money to watch this stuff. That's what pay-per-view is. So we're going to give you the match free again, adding all these stipulations on free TV. It just, from a business standpoint, it doesn't make sense.
Yeah, like I said, unless it's going to a time limit draw, because I mean it's not a championship match, so does it go the full 20 minutes? You could do that.
And then what do you do at the pay-per-view?
You should know that.
On a no time limit? They just did that with Moxley. No time limit. So we're going to do another no time limit match?
Next on TLC. The old school world just changed.
No, maybe not no time limit, but you just run it back. I don't know. You could have. This was your perfect opportunity to do it. Like, it was your perfect opportunity to do it at the pay-per-view.
I just feel these are things that people complain about WWE that they do, and it gets, pushed under the rug when it's AEW.
And it's sometimes, you give Tony credit for some things. You could have waited a week. Like, I don't know. Like, literally 10 seconds after the challenge was laid out, you're telling me you called Kenny.
You were going to Chloe for the first time.
You asked him what you want to do, and Kenny said yes.
It looks beige on you.
I don't know. Like, you could have waited a little bit.
Why is Kenny's EVP status even in a stipulation? Because Kenny has never used his EVP status to help himself in any way, shape, or form. He made matches when he was out injured, but even at his heel champion of the galaxy, he wasn't using the EVP status.
I think they used that. They're using that kind of thing because, remember, Swerve and Ospreay are the ones who took the EVP title away from the Bucks, and he saw the power that holds. So, in order to gain that power, you need that title. So I'm cool with that though. But fuck, you couldn't have done it at Dynasty. Sorry, I think doing it at Dynasty is more important than doing it in St. Paul, Minnesota.
My mom is still.
Yeah, like I said, are we using this just so we can keep as a ratings grab? And then where are you going with the pay-per-view? Because that's where things are supposed to be. That's where the blow-up is supposed to be.
Yeah, like maybe you do a steel, again, maybe it's a time limit draw, and then they do it in a steel cage.
But why would a steel cage be used for a time limit draw unless you're having interference?
I don't know.
If I was there,
You know what I mean?
it would be a yes for me.
I'm just saying the whole point of the steel cage is when there's interference to keep everyone inside and keep everyone out. So unless you're gonna have some way that Swerve, unless they do a double count out.
I'm not working.
And then they could say, we're going to do the cage, so it can't be, you can't fight all over the place.
Receiving.
Could they maybe do a 60-minute Iron Man match
That, I mean,
Yeah, but you need to have extra.
instead of doing a no time limit?
that would have to be your main event though, over the world title, especially if it's only against Darby.
It's against Darby. You can open the show with it.
I mean, you do a 60-minute Iron Man match as your main event. That surpasses a Darby match against MJF.
No. Like I said, again, pay-per-view was great, but then you came out and you fell flat on your face. So you got a lot of work to do this Wednesday. Like you took a week off when you didn't need to.
Nick, let me ask you while I got you here. What do you predict is going to be the final sales for All In?
I don't know. What was Texas at? 26?
No, they were actually at about 21.
They're at 21?
Yeah, they were legitimately at 21.
I say 35, 40.
So you think they're going to do less than 2024 in London?
Yeah, I can't see them. I can't see them hitting that. Not right now, at least. They could. I mean, you took a year off, which is nice. So the England, the UK fans are probably really wanting it. I can't see them hitting 81, 75, whatever the hell the number one is.
I said I feel they're going to hit between 48 and 50,
Yeah, I would say 50.
which matches 2024.
They're not going to hit the 81,000.
Oh no! I said even if they put WrestleMania there, I don't think WrestleMania would hit 81,000.
No, I think that was just a 1 year.
It was a fluke. It was an outlier. It was never gonna be happening again. It was just one of those things that all the stars aligned.
Can you turn your mic off?
Yeah, no, I can't see them hitting that big number. I can see 50. I can see 50, and again, even if it's 40, I would still consider that a success. Right? Like, what was the second year at Wembley?
That was 50. I think they hit about 50. That was 2024.
I think they hit 50. I think they beat 2024 for sure.
DJ, you still here?
Yeah, I'm here.
Oh, you were quiet that entire time.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you. You were just quiet the entire time.
Oh, I was just listening.
He's listening to me calling out the shittiness.
And just so you know, Nick, you can't escape it because I am recording this and we are live streaming, so there's plenty of witnesses.
I said it. Hey man, I said it beforehand. I said it on Shenanigans last night. That Wednesday was fucking. The pay-per-view was great, but Wednesday was shit. Even Walter said Wednesday was lackluster. So.
I mean, I've had a majority of even the most flag-waving AEW sickos that I interact with saying that, Wednesday's show was not it. So,
Andrew B. Dallas said it wasn't it either.
Even the AEW sickos...
And it's crazy because it's like, whenever AEW does a really good rating for them, like whatever time period it is, it's always on, for some reason, it's always on the worst shows. Like, I that's something that's been going on throughout the history of AEW, where the worst shows creatively are the ones that usually draw better because the shows previously were so fucking good.
I also think it's timing. As far as your point on that, DJ, is because, again, it's following a pay-per-view. And they don't seem to be able to follow up with a good show after a pay-per-view. I like I said earlier, I don't think they got the bump in ratings simply because of a single person. I think it was just the follow-up of the pay-per-view.
I just don't like the argument that a lot of AEW fans give me, and Nick has given me this argument as well, that Tony Khan may not be the best at putting his television shows together, but he's great at putting on a pay-per-view. So it's like, why can't Tony put that energy he puts into his pay-per-view product into his regular TV show? Or is he only good once a month like a woman? He's an opposite woman.
But you know what my argument on that would be? When you're doing the pay-per-view, that's mostly about the producers and the talent in the ring. Because it's not like they're, yeah, he's deciding who's winning the matches, but the matches themselves, and that's what really sells the pay-per-view, is, the wrestlers doing their job. So it's not even like building towards storylines creatively like we see on the weekly shows once you get to those pay-per-views, because then you're just relying on Dave giving them 5 stars, and that's making the pay-per-view great. So we're looking at the in-ring work, which isn't about Tony's creative. Agree, disagree?
No, I agree.
What about you, Nick?
Yeah, you gotta figure it out. He definitely I don't know. I don't get why. Listen, and I'm not even. I don't even say it about DJ. You know how I feel about ratings talk. I don't. That's not my game. I don't talk about ratings and numbers. None of that. I talk about what's given to me, and what was given to me on Wednesday was not good, flat out. So hopefully I don't know. He looks like he's got some stuff going on Wednesday.
Well, let me ask you, Nick, what did you think about what I just said? That the pay-per-views are based more on the work rate and it's more on the wrestlers than it is so much Tony's creative. And that's what, gives them...
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
Because it's not like they're doing angles during their shows the way like WWE would do. So it's more on, the producers and, the wrestlers who pretty much have that creative freedom. So they're pretty much producing their own matches. It's only Tony's deciding who's winning.
Well, no, I think
who's winning the matches is the worst part of the pay-per-views.
No, I think Tony. I think Tony knows where he wants to go. He just doesn't know how to get there. Either he doesn't know how to get there, or he's making detours when he doesn't need to make detours, or he's just making it harder on himself. Like, I don't know. I don't know what his creative process is, but
honestly, that's an episode of Unreal I would like to see. I would love to see Tony's creative process for a day. I'm really curious how he decides, how he gets from A, B to C.
Yeah, I mean, he says it. It's no secret that Tony has stated that, he does view Dynamite. He views Dynamite differently than Collision. With Dynamite, he's looking at the minute by minute, and the quarterlies and all of that metrics. So, are the metrics telling us something that we don't see? Is that how he's like? I don't know. I don't know what he judges. I'd just love to know how he judges what he's doing, or what he's basing his stuff on. Not to say that, again, he's not doing... Is he doing good? Yes. Is AEW telling stories? Yes. But can he be better? Can he do better? Absolutely. And if you're going to sit there and say that he can't do better, that he's doing the best he can, I think that's being disingenuous.
I feel that Tony... Okay, I just lost my thought. DJ, say something.
And no, I wouldn't say it's disingenuous to say that Tony has been trying. I think that what he's been doing lately is Tony's best. I don't think he can do any better than what he's doing now. I think he can capitalize and try to keep the ball rolling and have it build more. But I do absolutely think that everything Tony's been doing in the past 3 months since December, the end of December, when he put the belt on MJF, is the best shit he can think of right now. That's including everything with the Death Riders as well.
Now I remember. I'm glad he at least kept MJF off TV, because that bothered me in July that he had, after the Texas Death match with Moxley and Hangman, that Hangman was on TV and Moxley was on TV having matches 3 days after a death match. So I'm glad they were at least off TV to sell the death match, and you had a post promo. So that was one thing that I was happy to see, because I feel like AEW lacks in selling when it comes to a lot of things. Anybody?
I'm here. I just didn't have anything to say.
Well,
anything else you want to speak on?
No, we actually hit everything I wanted to talk about today. We talked about the Randy Orton. We talked about the excuses. We talked about Tony. Talked about all-in ticket sales. We got a little more into AEW than I expected because Nick showed up, which is fine and good. But unless there's something else, I think we're going to wrap this up a little earlier than normal.
Why is Jungle Jack biting penises? Why is that a thing?
Okay, Nick, you want to take this one?
What?
Why are we having dick biting in every Jungle Jack Perry match?
I didn't see any dick biting on Wednesday. Did he bite somebody's dick?
Him and the Young Bucks did.
Oh, well, that's cool. Oh, fuck it.
Yeah, during the main event against the Don Callis family, they went for 3 tombstones, and then they did that spot, where they bit the dicks.
Oh, I mean, Tony bit Marina's titty, so I mean, hey man, it is what it is. I don't know. I mean, listen, if that's what they choose to do, I mean, hopefully it works out for them. Yeah, I mean, I don't know.
Okay, I'm sorry. The crack of your voice, I don't think you're being genuine right now.
No, I just mean like listen, if that's the spot they chose to put in the match, I'm not gonna tell them or shit on. That's not a thing to critique. Okay, they bit his dick. She bit her titty. I think we should be more worried about where we're going storyline wise and what is happening week to week, rather than talking about or complaining about Jack Perry biting a Okada's dick. You know what I mean? Is it a weird spot? Sure. Yeah, it's a weird spot. I don't know why you'd have it in there, but
it's wrestling, not porn.
It is what it is, right?
But it's also becoming weekly. It wasn't like a one-time thing. It's now becoming synonymous with Jack Perry. Every match he's doing it.
Not porn.
Maybe he has a biting fetish. I don't know.
Again, it's wrestling, not porn.
I know.
That's just...
You're right. I don't know. I don't. I mean, I'm like I said. Is it weird? Yeah. Is it needed? No. You could find different spots, but I mean, again, I'm more worried about what we're doing with Jack Perry and what we're doing with this national title, rather than Jack Perry biting dick. You know what I mean? Like, what's Jack Perry doing at Dynasty? Are we running it back with Ricochet? Is that what we're doing?
Well, I think that's TBD, based on non-wrestling stuff with Ricochet.
But that's what I'm saying. Like,
yeah.
fans need to be more concerned with where we're going with things rather than the spots they're doing in a match.
Yeah, but it's when you're posting it on social media and then you're pushing it on social media, it becomes the forefront to the conversation. You know what I mean? When it's being used to to push views, how can you just completely ignore it also? But I think on dick biting, that's going to wrap it up for this week. Unless, DJ, you want to add something in?
I do. DJ, where the fuck is Ropes and John?
Did we lose DJ? I know Ropes was supposed to do Rock and Ropes yesterday, and Johnny Bottles was on with DJ yesterday, so they had a pretty long conversation. I think I lost DJ though, but that's going to wrap it up for today, and we will be back next Sunday for episode 16 of the DJ and Heel Show. Thank you for everyone who joined in, and don't forget to follow our socials. And if you're listening and you wanted to catch the whole show, they will be on YouTube and Spotify tonight at midnight. Thank you, everyone.